Today we have the fourth ever and the second this year, the Good Major.
Why would one of the biggest sports organizations in the world, the PGA Tour, see a bunch of guys on YouTube as a threat? It sounds ridiculous at first. How could a group of young golfers with cameras compete with a billion-dollar machine that runs the most prestigious tournaments in the sport? But here's the thing. Good Golf isn't just playing golf for fun. I mean, they're doing that, but they're also changing the very business model of the game. And what started as a casual group of friends making trick shot videos has become one of the biggest disruptions professional golf has ever seen. To understand why the PGA is paying such close attention, we need to start at the beginning. The story of Good begins in 2020. At the center was Garrett Clark, better known as GM Golf, who had already made a name for himself with trick shots, challenges, and creative golf content on YouTube. He teamed up with close friends Steven Castaneda, Matt Scharf, and Micah Morris, who brought their own personalities and flair. As Good's popularity grew, the team expanded, bringing in players like Brad Dowk, Sean Walsh, and Tom Bubby Brothers, among others. They called themselves Good Golf. You know that moment on the course when two players look at each other over a short putt and both say, good. That's where it comes from. It's straight out of the casual banter golfers share, and it instantly tells you this group wasn't trying to be stiff or formal. From the start, the group's energy was different. This wasn't golf in the buttoned-up country club sense. It was golf that felt like hanging out with friends. They filmed matches, challenges, trick shots, and fun formats that made the game approachable. They blended competition with entertainment, seriousness with humor, and in a sport often associated with exclusivity, they offered what was rare: accessibility. By 2021, their audience was already beginning to grow. They had crossed well into the hundreds of thousands of YouTube subscribers, were growing fast on Instagram and TikTok, and had already built a fan base that skewed much younger than almost anything the PGA could touch. And since then, their growth has only skyrocketed. From the outside, it looked like a group of friends filming casual golf matches. But underneath, Good was quietly building an empire. Their first real leap into business was through apparel. Good tapped into their huge online fan base by dropping golf apparel. And instead of tossing out a few polos with a logo slapped on, they treated every release like a streetwear drop. Limited runs, hype-driven teasers, and sellouts that sometimes happened within minutes. It became a badge of belonging. Fans proudly wore Good hats and hoodies to signal they were part of something bigger. But the Good team has been clear. They don't see their clothing as basic creator merch. They approach it as true golf apparel, high-quality pieces designed to stand on their own, even for someone who's never seen a single Good video. Once they had established themselves as a lifestyle brand, they also ventured into actual tournaments. These include creator-focused competitions like the Good Creator Classic and major branded events such as the Good Championship. Each event carries high-energy production and a clear sense of community, and the tournament videos regularly draw hundreds of thousands to over 1 million views on YouTube. The whole atmosphere is about fun, competition, and community rolled together, which for YouTube-raised fans feels a lot more exciting than a traditional 4-hour TV broadcast. So, while the PGA is still tied to TV contracts and subscription streams, Good keeps pumping out free videos that are quick, creative, and dangerously bingeable. Here's where the tension really starts to build. The PGA isn't worried about how well the Good guys can play. They're worried about the shift in power that the group represents. Let's break it down. Golf's biggest problem has always been age. The average PGA viewer is well over 50, and the broadcasts reflect that demographic: long, traditional, and, let's be honest, sometimes painfully slow. Whole rounds can stretch across an afternoon, which works for hardcore fans but does little to pull in a younger crowd with shorter attention spans. Good flipped that script. Their core audience is teenagers and 20-somethings, the very group the PGA has struggled to reach for decades. Instead of sitting through hours of commentary, fans can click into a 20-minute YouTube match that delivers everything at once: big drives, clutch putts, jokes, trash talk, and plenty of personality. The energy is fast-paced, unpolished, and fun. Then comes the element of accessibility. For decades, golf has carried the reputation of being elitist, expensive kits, exclusive country clubs, and a sense of tradition that often shuts outsiders out. Good changes that story completely. Their videos feel like you've been invited to join the group of friends. They keep it light, crack jokes, and don't hide their mistakes. In fact, they laugh at them. When something crazy happens, they celebrate like anyone would with their friends. For a kid who might never step foot in Augusta, a good video feels like a warm invite into the game. Next, there is the threat of new revenue streams slipping out of the PGA's control. The PGA makes its money the old-fashioned way, through TV contracts, ticket sales, and corporate sponsorships. That model depends on networks, advertisers, and traditional partners buying into the tour's product. Good, meanwhile, has built a system the PGA can't really control. They sell directly to their fans. Every apparel drop works like a streetwear launch. High margin, high demand, and often sold out in minutes. Their ticketed live events pack in crowds without the PGA's infrastructure, showing that a creator-led brand can draw attention and dollars on its own terms. That's where the threat lies. If younger fans are spending their money on good hoodies or event tickets instead of PGA broadcasts and merchandise, the tour isn't just losing eyeballs, it's also losing revenue streams. That kind of competition is tough to replicate quickly. And lastly, the biggest threat of all. For decades, the PGA has controlled how golfers build careers. If you wanted fame, sponsorships, or money, you needed the tour. Good shows that's no longer true. Garrett Clark has millions of fans without ever playing a PGA event. Even former members like Micah Morris and Grant Horvat grew huge followings and careers entirely on YouTube. The message is clear. You don't need the PGA Tour to become a golf star anymore. So, what happens when a traditional institution feels the pressure? It adapts, or at least tries to. The PGA hasn't ignored good and the wave of creators changing the sport. In fact, they've tried to co-opt it. In 2024, they launched the Creator Classic, an official event featuring YouTube golfers, including Garrett Clark, Brad Dahlk, and Sean Walsh. It was broadcast across YouTube, Peacock, and ESPN+, signaling that the PGA knew exactly where young fans were watching. They also formed a creator council, bringing in influencers to consult on how to grow golf's next generation of fans. On one hand, this shows the PGA recognizes the power of creators. On the other, it shows just how disruptive good has been. 10 years ago, the idea of the PGA working with YouTubers would have been laughable. Now, it's a strategy for survival. The real question is, will the PGA adapt fast enough to stay relevant among younger audiences? Fans who increasingly prefer watching creators like good on YouTube over sitting through a traditional tour broadcast? Because in the end, this isn't just Good's story. It's the story of a changing sports landscape, and it's only getting started.